Hi guys, welcome to CDC Mentors. My name is Ketan and making this video on students' demand because a lot of students have requested that they want to know how one should be preparing for XAT, keeping 10 days in mind and what should be the final strategy as far as XAT is concerned. Now, let me give you a little bit of background as far as the XAT exam is concerned. Now, there are two perspectives. Number one, as far as XAT is concerned, it's the toughest exam, which I definitely agree with that. Indeed, it is an exam which is really tough. It's one of the beautiful and classy exam post-CAT. But at the same time, having said that, you also need to understand as an aspirant that this is also an easy exam to crack. So there are two perspectives that you need to understand. Number one, when I say that particular exam is tough, okay? Now if you look at the toughness that we talk about, the toughness which you talk about is basically based on the level of difficulty. You all agree with that, right? It is basically based on the level of difficulty. But again, if you look at the time period for XAT, right, the kind of time that you get as far as XAT is concerned, it's actually more than enough. That's number one. Again, the number of questions to get correct, rather the number of questions required by you to get it correct, right, is very less, when you look at the cutoff, which is like 95, 97, 98, 99. From that perspective, definitely indeed, when you look at XAT is kind of an easy exam, and that is the reason, even if you prepare for the next 10 days, थोड़ा सा प्यार से थोड़ा सा ढंग से अगर आप थोड़ी पढ़ाई करोगे मेरे ख्याल से you should be able to get a call from XLRI and you can definitely score 36 plus. And in this video I'm also going to show you the analysis and why do I say so. Let's begin the cutoff for business management program. Now let me tell you guys something about XLRI. Like a lot of people kind of keep in mind that XLRI मतलब HR के लिए बहुत अच्छा है and यहाँ पे HR करना बहुत अच्छा है. See, indeed it is the best as far as the HR is concerned. It's ranked top 5 in the Asia. There is no doubt about it. But at the same time, I want you all to have a look at business management program ka statistics, and it is actually best. So if somebody is missing on IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, and for that matter, let's say FMS, XLRI can actually give you the same kind of platform, same kind of placements, right? So again, BM is something that you should be looking for. Now, the cutoff overall was 95 for male. So again, this is 2020 and 2019. So it was overall 95, 96 for last 2 years. Now, this would change depend on the level of difficulty. So let's just say if this year the cutoff is really high, very khal say because of the LOD would be like pretty easy. And if the paper gets tougher than the previous year, then this probably might kind of fall to like 94% or something. So for female, there is a different cutoff for BM actually. So it was 93 and 95. For female, the cutoff gets actually very lower. And you can see the shift of 1% lesser for 2019 compared to for 2020 compared to 2019 because the 2020 was really tough. Moving ahead, the cutoff for HRM. Now, here you need to understand, if you look at the cutoff for your Quants, right, for business management program, the cutoff for Quants is just 75 for female, and for male it was 85 last year. At the same time, if you look at the cutoff for verbal, it's 74 and 79, which is still doable. There is no doubt about it, which is still doable, which is still crackable. 67 questions and the cutoff is clear. I think you'll get more than that. If you look at the verbal cutoff for HR domain, it's slightly higher. 74, 79 and here we have 79, 85. Okay. So if the level of difficulty goes up this year, this might get dropped to 78, 77, whatever, right? At the same time, if you look at the female cutoff, which was 72 and 75 in 2019, it became 74 and 80. Right? So the cutoff for HR is going to be a little higher as far as verbal is concerned. And for the same matter, if you look at Quants, Quant is like pretty low, man. 75 and 72 compared with 85 and 90. बहुत कम है, right? So those who are preparing for HR, you should not be really worried about as far as your Quants is concerned. Okay? As far as your Quants is concerned. Now, let's move ahead and start with the first section, which is decision making. Now, this section is one of the scoring section. Okay? And what requires for decision making is nothing but just a practice. And trust me, it is not a rocket science. I know I said last time it's a common sense, but then you have to understand these are the questions which is predominantly based on ethical dilemma, business dilemma, quant based and DI based. So I would always urge to kind of leave these questions which are based on quantitative aptitude and DI based. Should not be venturing into that. But ethical and business related issues here, they're very easy to do actually. But you would definitely need a practice and you would need some shortcuts. For example, there is this question which was based on this one of the girl Shilpa something, and she is she's working with the company and she wanted to actually have her own company wherein there are a lot of female are also working or something like that. So that was kind of a business dilemma kind of a thing. But there was this one question wherein it was categorically mentioned in the question that as a conscious entrepreneur, what decision that she should be taking. So the decision making predominantly works on the keywords. So you all need to understand, the more you practice the decision making sets, right, you will get to know all these keywords, and because of which it will improve your accuracy, because accuracy is what will matter a lot as far as your DM is concerned. This is doable. This is actually doable. My last year ka 2020 ka decision making was slightly tougher than 2019, but still our topper was 99.95. And to be very honest, this guy did not score very well as far as verbal and quant and DI was concerned, but he did good in 99 in decision making, got 99.95, and his overall was 98 percentile. So decision making is going to be a scoring machine, and getting around about 17 to 18 questions here is not that a big deal. You can definitely do it. थोड़ा अगर आपने अच्छे से read करा. Now when you talk about reading, right, the challenge for decision making is how do you read so many lengthy cases, right? Again, you need to focus more on the keywords, however, but, and all these keywords, because that's where the maximum things are actually hidden. And bacha log yahan pe kind of we do not actually kind of pay a lot of attention towards this. I can show you so many decision making cases which are based on the ethical and business dilemma. You don't really have to read everything. You can actually work it out by options. You can indeed work it out by options. I'm not kidding. You can go back and you can check the previous year ka XAT ka questions, and you will see from A se leke E, I guarantee you will see 2 to 3 options are always and always pretty lame. You will be able to knock them off eventually. The only close options are going to be maybe, let's say, 2 options on 5 options, right? But again, if you have a good practice, you should be able to do it. So decision making is going to be a score machine. This is something you should not be actually leaving at all. So that's going to be number 1 as far as decision making is concerned. I'm anyway having my workshop as far as decision making is concerned. I have done 2 lectures. There are a couple of 3 lectures are yet to do. I will be kind of discussing like last 10 years of decision making questions which are really important. If you do that, you should be sorted. I did the same thing last year and we got a good result in decision making. We'll be doing the same thing in this year's workshop also. Let's go back and check the quants. Now quants, okay guys, to be very honest, quants aata hai tough. I am not gonna give you any kind of a rosy picture. Quant tough hota hai yaar. There is no doubt about it. Okay, quants is going to be tough. But then again, you need to understand, पेपर मेरा टफ है पर मेरे अटेम्प्ट्स कितने हैं वो जानना बहुत जरूरी है, बिकॉज वी ऑलवेज टॉक अबाउट पेपर बहुत टफ है, बट यार तुम अटेम्प्ट्स देखो कितना कर सकते हो, एंड एट द सेम टाइम तुम्हें टाइम को फैक्टर इन करना पड़ेगा. यू गेट राउंड अबाउट 165 minutes. This is more than enough. This is actually more than enough. I'm not going to talk about GK because GK anyway is not getting included in XAT because it's only considered by XLRI. That too, मेरे ख्याल से when they have a lot of students and they really want to kind of bifurcate which is better, they kind of take GK into consideration मेरे ख्याल से. So I think GK is not that a big deal. Again, moving ahead with this, what one should be doing? Let's do the analysis again. If you are my student or if you've been following me for CAT and all, you will remember that AAG, the strategy that I have been telling you all the time, this is going to work smoothly for everybody out there. Arithmetic, algebra and geometry. This has been predominantly what XAT has been getting dominated by. If you look at last year, okay, last year what we had. So this is P&L percentages, SIC was there, it was absent, ratio, proportion, TSD. If you look at this chunk, right, 7 questions on 28. 7 questions on 28. 25%, 1/4 is going to be your arithmetic, short. Now, if you look at arithmetic, right, if you check these things, right, you will be able to understand that, oh, okay, arithmetic was quite lesser earlier, but now arithmetic is getting dominated. That's number 1. Number 2, if you look at algebra, 2019 algebra was 8 questions. Okay, they asked 8 questions of algebra. At the same time, geometry and mensuration was actually dominating in the year 2019. But 2020, if you look at, to my surprise, only 2 questions were there, and it got reduced by 2 questions. 6 questions were there, and they had modern maths. And in modern maths, predominantly they are big fan of probability. So if you are taking care of that, you should be sorted. Now, what should be the preparation strategy from here onwards? Trust me, if you are somebody who's pretty good at AAG, you should be sorted. Now, here I kind of recommend C2C is a patent thing which is BAC, or in a nomenclature I'll just put it as ABC approach. This works fantastically well for XAT. What do you mean by ABC? B means basic, A means advanced, C means challenger. Out of these 7 questions, take my words today, I guarantee you, overall XAT, here is the kind of hierarchy, or you can say that this is the bifurcation. I guarantee you 33% of your paper is going to be easy. Sure shot. You take any section for that matter, decision making isse zyada hoga. Verbal and your quants, which are pretty tough to crack, 33% question, spot on, going to be easy. The point is, will you be able to identify them? अगर आप उसको पकड़ लिए ना, your life is settled, because that's what happens. इतना ज़्यादा time होता है, you can always do selection very wisely, and once you pick up the question which is actually easy to do, 100% accuracy is assured. Give more time, yaar. You can give round about 4 to 5 minutes per question. 100% accuracy क्यों नहीं आएगा? बनता है, definitely बनता है, right? 33% paper आपका पक्का easy आएगा. I'm giving you the kind of rounded off number. 47% of your paper is going to be a medium category. Now again, this is for somebody who is an average student, who understands the concepts very well. This is going to be easy, like hell easy. You just need to check it and mark it. 33% is going to be easy, 47% is going to be medium level, and this is where the entire game actually starts. Those who are actually stuck in this 47% ka question, you are out of the game, because that's where a lot of time consumption happens and you lose your emotional quotient, or you lose your emotional balance. And guys, when you talk about the tough thing, right, to be very honest, 20% of XAT is what the toughest thing. But ye jo tough aata hai na, ye khatarnak tough aata hai. The level of difficulty of these 20% questions are hell, man. Trust me. This can actually make you sweat on the D-Day. This will suck your blood. The point is that, can we identify these death corners? There will be a video from my set today itself where I'll be discussing death corner. It will help you, pakka. I guarantee you, bahut help karega aapko. 33-47. I'm only telling you that 80% of the paper is actually doable. If you do not believe me, you go back, you check 2020, you check 2019, you check 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, whatever you want to check it, you check it. I bet you these are going to be the statistics. Worst to worst क्या होगा? ये 20 का 25 बनेगा, 47 का 40 बनेगा, 33 का 25 बनेगा. But you know what? अगर आपने इतना भी ढंग से कर लिया ना, ये वाला पोर्शन भी अगर आपने ढंग से कर लिया ना, तुम्हारा कट ऑफ क्लियर है. Because to get 72 percentile, 12 marks were needed last year, and with this you are getting a call from KG Somai. Okay, you add round about 18 questions, 18 marks score, right? 18 ka score phase 2 round about 90 percentile. Correct me if I'm wrong, but score iske ird-girdi hoga. You're getting call from TAP, you're getting call from Jim, you're getting call from XIMB. Had SPGN taking this exam, you could have got a call from SPGN also last year. Guys, are you with me? So understand this, right? You don't really have to go and attempt a lot. So that's going to be AAG, right? Then this year in my workshop, what I've decided is basically I'm going to be predominantly working a lot on modern maths. So we will be doing the basic level, we will be doing the advanced level and challenge level. All these things will be uploaded in your dashboard by EOD today, right? You will be getting all the challenger videos in your dashboard. If you have joined me for a workshop, or if you want to join in, or if you're my Purana student with me for like CAT long-term program, then guys, you're going to be getting that for your XAT for sure. Trigno is something I think is going to be a little bit important. मेरे ख्याल से इस बारी you might see algebra coming back in the action, and geometry का weight is उतना ही रहने वाला है, there is no doubt about it. I think this year you might see algebra coming back in action, but again modern maths is what I'm anyway going to take care of, so you don't really have to worry about it. Set theory, case lead and all that you can leave. Data interpretation, out of 6 questions, 2 questions will always be doable. यार इसमें ना एक्चुअली अगर आप 2011 का पेपर देखोगे, I want you all to go for 2011 का पेपर. Have a look at 2011 का पेपर. I know it was a nightmare. We could not solve a single question for like first 15-20 minutes. It was bizarre. It was horrible. Again, you will agree with me if I tell you this thing. So all the sets of XAT, DI, they look very tough. They are tough to comprehend, but they are kind of easy to solve. They are kind of easy to solve. When I say this, take it with a pinch of salt. Because if you're somebody who does not really understand that as an exam, and if you have not seen the paper and if you're not very well prepared, then you might feel that, oh, what is this guy saying? But ये reality है. They're actually doable. And again, I'm not saying 6 के 6 करना है. Strategy मैं आपको बाद में बताऊंगा. I hope this is clear. Quants, you can take a picture of this. Moving ahead. What do we have? We've got verbal. Now, the most painful area that people are thinking that, okay, verbal is going to be there. But again, there is a strategy to deal with verbal. One second, guys. There is a strategy to deal with verbal. In verbal, what do you have to attack? Now, you might feel that verbal is tough. No doubt about it. It is tough. But there is a way to go ahead with this. Now, in verbal, guys, understand this. A good attempt in quant should be around about 12 se 13. A very good attempt should be around about 15. Right? Out of 28. 15 plus you can do aram se. I have seen people cracking 18 questions also. But for an average student, 13-14 questions are doable. Aram se doable. There is no doubt about it. See, this is going to be your main thing. This thing is going to be your main thing. Grammar. You have to focus more on grammar. इसमें fill in the blanks भी आएगा, idioms वगैरह करा गया तो वो भी आ जाएगा. There are 13 videos uploaded in your dashboard. If you do this much, we have done every single thing which forms into grammar. तुम्हारा figure of speech हो, तुम्हारा grammar हो, every bloody thing has been done. If you do this, you should be sorted with grammar. Parajumble, they are pretty lame. They are actually with options. अगर आप मेरे follower हो, मैंने आपको दिखाया था कि टिट्टा question we actually solve it in less than a minute's time. जहाँ पे बात है options का, you should be able to do it in less than a minute's time. But again, you can take it as a, like you can still do it in 1.5 minutes. ये 2 marks आपके short है यहाँ पे. Poems के बारे में भी थोड़ा बाद में बात करूँगा. But look at this. These 6 questions, if you get them with 100% accuracy, you are cracking the cutoff for sure. Because I think roundabout, if you look at 8 to 10 questions, if you do in verbal, it will fetch you 80 percentile on a good day. If the accuracy, if the level of difficulty is not that great, if it's a normal level of difficulty, it should fetch you around about 80 percentile. So 6 to 7 question can definitely get you 75 plus or 70 plus. Now, poem, I leave it to you. If you want to do it, you can do it. Otherwise, you can leave that. Now, critical reasoning is going to be a little bit tough out here. I do not really focus, or either I do not really advise you all to venture into critical reasoning. वो problem करेगा. Critical reasoning में kind of आपका negative marking ज़्यादा जाने के chances है, and that is the reason I say that it's better you leave that. See, even if you're leaving, right, you're getting this point 0.1, right? This is what the negative marking that you have if you're leaving questions more than 8. But again, even if you do this, this is not gonna, by leaving 22 questions, you will be losing 1 mark. So that is going to be the calculation. So do not really worry about it. But the point is that don't get scared of losing the question, because if you're losing the question, you are losing 0.1. But then if you are attempting a question and if the question actually goes wrong, then it is 0.25. This is horrible. This is something I don't really want you guys to venture into. Critical listening, you can do assumption, you can do arguments, you can do course of action, all that stuff. Still doable. Out of 6, 2 questions can be aram se doable. Reading comprehension. Reading comprehension mein, if you go back, I will be making a separate video on reading comprehension. I am only asking you 4 questions in reading comprehension. I am not asking you a lot. I am only asking you 4 questions, which is 1/3 of the paper. It is doable. It's aram se crackable. अगर आप 6 plus 4 देखोगे, plus 2 देखोगे, आपका 12 का attempt यहाँ पे होना चाहिए. This will fetch you round about more than 90 percentile. More than 90 percentile, close to 95 percentile also. So if you look at verbal, should not be taking that kind of time. But again, there will be a separate video for verbal, wherein I will be disclosing all the strategies, how you should be going ahead. But if you're starting from today, at least focus on this chunk. This can give you a good edge on other people in the competition. And out of 12, 4 questions aram se doable. This is I'm saying on a very average level, right? Moving ahead. Now, what do you have to do? If you're somebody who's really keen on cracking XAT, what do you really have to do? Guys, these are some golden rules I'm kind of telling you. Is that number 1, you have to control your attempts. You have to control your attempts. Out of 75, right? Out of 75, I think an attempt of 40 question is more than enough to get a XLRI call. I'm saying XLRI call with 80% accuracy. I'm not saying 99.99 or something. I'm just saying to get a call from XLRI. This is a pretty good attempt, right? 36 is something that you can get aram se. Even if you target 12, right? Even if you target 12 plus 12 and 12 should fetch you 36 marks aram se. मेरे ख्याल से इतना अगर ला लिया आपने तो इस कट ऑफ इससे कम जाता है. You should be able to get it. Number 1, so you have to control your attempts. You cannot attempt everything. right? Another, do not think score versus percentile. This is one of the biggest bullshit that people can tell you कि इतने मार्क्स पे इतना परसेंटाइल आएगा. Should never do that. CAT में आपने देखा, CAT में lot of people told you इतने पे इतना आएगा, किसी का भी prediction सही नहीं आया. मेरे ख्याल से the best thing to do this is after your examination, right? You can do some combination, but do not fall for all this shit. This will actually cost you a lot. Do not think about a final cutoff. Final cutoff क्या होगा? 93 पे कॉल आएगा, 95 पे कॉल आएगा, पता नहीं. ये LOD डिसाइड करने के बाद होगा, because I just showed you, right? Cutoffs are varying year on year. Do not worry about this point 1 negative. If you're leaving the question, don't worry about it. The best thing to crack that is practice, practice, and practice right from now. You can actually nail this exam in next 10 days also, right? Again, target 5 mocks. These are going to be active mocks. Target 5 mocks. If you're joining me for the workshop for the next 10 days, we have reduced the price, by the way. You can actually join me for XAT plus IFT. So this is going to be like a little cost effective for you. You can do that because IFT is anyway a month away from now. You can join me for XAT plus IFT. Now, I want you to go for 10 mocks which are passive. The passive mocks works wonderfully. This is nothing but only and only giving previous year's papers, maybe last 10 years papers. You can do them. If you are a Seductive Mentors ka student, we will be doing them in the sessions for you, so you don't really have to do it by yourself. But again, overall, if you look at the level of difficulty is going to be stagnant. मेरे ख्याल से slightly बढ़ सकता है, slightly घट भी सकता है. You really don't know about it. But if you do the attempts that I've just told you, if you just take care of all these things in your preparation, if you take care of all these things, I think you should be sorted as far as your XAT is concerned. These are my analysis. This is what I've told you. You just have to focus on these things. It's still doable in the next 10 days. Right? You cannot really form a perception in your mind कि मैं 10 attempt करूँगा, 12 attempt करूँगा, but I'm giving you a ballpark number so that you can have an idea. See, again, you do AAG, you are anyway, you will be able to crack 15 plus questions in quants. You do verbal, whatever, the way I told you, you are anyway going to attempt 12 questions. Decision making is what I look at, like you should be attempting around about 17 to 18 questions to get a good score वहाँ पे. And you can always follow one thing. Decision making is going to be like 99 plus plus. Probably your VA and quant, you can keep it around about 90 से लेके 92. You are anyway 95 percentile plus. And you are anyway going to get a call from XLRI. So guys, I hope this helps you. I've made this in detailed manner. I'll kind of come up with the video for VARC wherein I'll disclose the strategy, death corner thing. And also we will talk about quants and the level of difficulty of quants and verbal for every kind of a grammar and parable and everything. I hope this is something going to help you. So guys, if anybody want to join in, the link is given in the description. You all can join us. And guys, just work your way out. It's a beautiful exam. It will give you a good opening for B schools. I think fetching 90 percentile is not that tough in next 10 days. You can still do that. 95 percentile is again possible to get a call from XLRI. But if you're crossing 80 percentile, you should be getting a call from lot of non XL B schools out there. So keep that in mind. So guys, that's it from my side. Thank you so much. Bye bye.